Well, hi everyone, and thank you so much for having me today. My name is Kelsey McWilliams, and my company is called Point of Shift. And Point of Shift is a circular sanitation design consultancy. Pretty much, we design and implement circular sanitation systems that not only take waste and convert it into another product like water, energy, fertilizer, compost, but we also try to create beautiful spaces. I feel like sanitation and bathrooms in general are a place that most people get in and then they quickly get out. But creating spaces that are beautifully designed can help us create that connection to our waste and connection to the value that our waste has. But I think I'll talk more about that later. I stumbled upon this beautiful world of poo quite early in my career. I think, like many of us, Bill Gates did start a lot of new talking, new thinking around toilets. And I had the wonderful opportunity to work in a Bill and Melinda Gates funded lab in college. And we were looking at how can we use membranes to dry waste from pit latrines or from container-based toilets. How can we dry that waste faster while it's in the container so that we're not transporting water and so that fill rates aren't happening too quickly in areas that have a lot of rain or have high water tables. So I feel like that was my first kind of introduction into it. And like to set the pitch for you, it was not a glorious lab. It was a lab that's reeked of poop in the high humidities. And one summer, our air conditioning didn't work. So it was not glorious, but somehow I fell in love with the topic of sanitation. And I think what that comes from is I find it fascinating that something we do every day, from the day we are born, we do it every day, is something that we so do not talk about. Like people have fears of pooping in public. Like it's so stigmatized at different levels for different people. And that's one side of the coin. On the other side of the coin, there's still people who don't have access to safe sanitation or access to toilets, and how that affects their economic ability, their ability to make a living, their ability to live a healthy life. And it's just this crazy combination of like that disparity and that stigmatism and that just crazy thing that we do every day has so many different ways to affect your life. I think is just a crazy thing. So that kind of craziness and that call to action of like, we need to create a better system for everyone and create access to sanitation for all, kind of has really put me on this path of where I am today. But what I like to say is our poo has value. There is value in poo, and there is value in having safe, dignified sanitation for everyone. And then there's the extra value of having those spaces be intentionally designed for everyone and intentionally designed to be beautiful spaces that we want to be in, and spaces that recognize that, hey, this is something we do every day. It's not something that we should flush and forget. It's something that we should value and we should celebrate, and we should return those nutrients back to the earth in the form of fertilizer, in the form of nutrient-rich water, or in the form of energy. Like, that's so cool about poop. Like, there's not just one option. It's not just converting food waste into compost or just cleaning water and returning back to the rivers. It's literally, there's so many options that we can do with our poo. And I'm sure as you guys are listening, you probably know a few. Like, you can make bricks, you can make charcoal briquettes, you can make energy, and that energy can be heat, it can be electricity, you can make animal feed. So there's so many different ways that our waste has value, which is great because we're a diverse group of people. So like how cool it is that like no matter the situation, there's a way that our waste can provide value in local contexts. So if I had to pick one key floatable nugget of wisdom to share, I think what we're seeing from a lot of people with COVID is this return to nature, or it's what a lot of groups have been doing, this indigenous knowledge, return to knowing our place, the human's place in nature, and how we not only have a right to reap the benefits of Mother Earth, which we have been doing to excessive amounts these past couple of decades, but we have a huge, huge right to return those rewards we received back to the earth. And I think you're seeing that more and more of like this call of knowing, like we are part of nature and we want to help Mother Earth and we need to make right the wrongs that we have in the past. And I think my one floatable nugget is that sanitation is not in a silo. Sanitation is a part of returning our nutrients back to Earth and connecting kind of what we've eaten, literally the food that Mother Earth has provided us, what we've eaten back to Earth. And I think it's just important to know that sanitation connects with everything. It connects with our systems of compost. It connects with protecting our ocean. It connects with deforestation. Like sanitation, because it is such a central crux of how we live our lives, touches everything. And I think if we put more energy into fixing our current sanitation systems, I mean, I will talk all day about I love sewers. We do not have cities without sewers, but that does not mean our current sewer system can't be better, can't be more efficient, could use less water, could be better in terms of like reducing the chemicals that are in biosolids. And the same for composting toilets. Like composting toilets, again, I will preach about all day, but could they be better? A lot of people don't like using compost toilet because flushing is convenient. It is a sleeker experience. How can we create toilets that are not only better for the planet, but people want to use and celebrate using? And I think kind of that floatable nugget of remembering that sanitation is a central pillar of us healing the earth, healing the waters, and connecting back into nature, I think is what I would say. If poo could talk, what would it tell us? Yeah, I think one, if you don't look at your poop after you poop, I think you're lying. Some people swear that they do not look at it, and I think that's great. I think that's good if you don't want to admit in public that you look at it. But I think every human is intrinsically interested in what it looks like, and I think it gives so much information. It tells you like how you're doing. It tells you how you're feeling. Like, you know, when your gut is not feeling well, then you're like the gut and the brain are so connected. So like by looking at poop, not only can it tell you like what you've eaten or where you were in the world, maybe your poop changes based on your diet and where you are regionally, as well as I think anyone who's gotten a virus or a stomach bug from another country can relate to. But yeah, I think poo tells us so much. And I think there's more than just our gut health, right? Like poo also can tell us how a community is doing. There's actually a community in Maine that each person gets their individual composting toilet. And that toilet is only used by one person, and that compost is then used to grow things, because what also grows in your compost or grows on your compost, they believe can tell you a lot about your health. So I think there's more interesting ways that we can explore in terms of what our poo tells, but that's kind of where we're at. Hi, I'm Kelsey, and I'm poo too.